In government Monday night, the Planning Board met with 2 public hearings on their agenda. The first was to accept public comments on a proposed amendment to the official zoning map. The amendment will rezone the property at 420 to 442 Walpole Street, the Big Y Plaza, from manufacturing to a general business zoning district. After a brief discussion by Town Planner Paul Halkiotis and abutters of the property, the board had a positive vote on the question. The second hearing of the night was a continued hearing for a MUOD special permit at 7 to 9 Cottage Street. During the meeting, a memo from Mark Ryan was read and the board discussed the topic further. Finally, the decision was made to continue the hearing until October 25th at 7:30. To end the meeting, the board reviewed the department updates, hospital peer review, and October 18th town meeting. The next meeting will be October 25th. Also on Monday night, the Middle School Building Committee continued to work toward the December submission of the new middle school plan to the MSBA. There were a number of items on the agenda, including votes to include a 600-seat auditorium, a turf field, and lights for the field in the new middle school plan. School committee member Maya Bodenhofer explains her thoughts on supporting the turf field.
From the point of view of the school district specifically, the fields are not used for school use at night at this point. The Coakley Middle School fields are not. These fields are all controlled by the town. It's the rec department that handles all of the rentals for this. This field right now is lighted. And so we are taking away a lighted field. There'll be a lighted field that's lost for the 2 years of construction. I do feel it's important to put it back. I think that these, as Ms. Ferreira said, these fields get a lot of use from soccer and football during the, typically they are used Monday through Friday nights. It's not just, because they're used for practices. We are talking about it now like it's one field because it is one football size field, but the way youth soccer uses this, they count this as 2 fields because the kids are small and they play across the field. So they're typically having 2 games at a time on these fields. And sometimes 4 teams are practicing on these fields. I really think it's important to keep the lights for this field.
The next Middle School Building Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 1st. At a very brief Selectmen's meeting on Tuesday night, the board met with Town Purchasing Agent Kathy Carney. Mrs. Carney briefly described the 3 bids that came in. The highest bid was $22.5 million, which was received from Alexandria Real Estate of Pasadena, California, which specializes in developing and operating life science and technology campuses.
There were 3 bidders who submitted responsive bids. There was ARE-MA Region Number 100 LLC, care of Alexandria Real Estate Equities. Their bid price was $22,500,000.
Selectman Hajar made a motion to accept the bid.
And seconded, amended, made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
The Board of Selectmen will meet again on October 12th. The school committee met remotely Wednesday night. Health Director Sigal Reese presented a COVID-19 update. Dr. Thompson gave the superintendent's report, providing updates on things like enrollment and COVID-19 resources. Karen Sheridan provided a report on the budget. Later, the board discussed upcoming capital projects for the schools. Concepts like a new track for the high school and relocation of the tennis courts will be discussed at the upcoming special town meeting. Later, the group reviewed changes to the public forum policy. Chair Teresa Stewart explains.
Proposing is that as of our next meeting on October 27th, we continue to use the public forum email address that we have been using since March of 2020. But in addition, we also give the public an opportunity to pre-register and actually join our Google meeting. So what we are recommending is that if somebody would like to speak to us in this format, they could call Dr. Thompson's office. They would need to call by noon the day of, so we can manage the preparation of that and get the meeting link out. They would be sent a meeting link to our Google meeting that would be accessible for public forum only. We would need people, if they do join this way, to stay muted. As you know, we start our meetings with some business, approving minutes, some correspondence, the warrant report, and then we generally go into public forum. There would be some management between Dr. Thompson and I of making sure that we call on people to speak in the order that they register and or the time that the email is received. So there may be some back and forth between some people speaking and some emails being read. But Dr. Thompson, if you could scroll down a little bit more, please, on that document. Really important, we need to adhere to the policy that we have if people were coming, in person to our meeting, which is that public forum participants have up to 3 minutes to speak to us. And if you could continue to scroll down, Dr. Thompson, to the other items. At the end of 3 minutes, we would ask the person who is speaking to stop. If it is an email sent, I will start to time 3 minutes or ask somebody else to time me as I'm reading. I'm not sure logistically how we'll figure that out yet. But the end of 3 minutes, the email would stop being read. Any email sent to the school committee, we can make sure for public forum, we can make sure it gets to the full school committee. So even if the information is not fully read, because we reached the 3 minute limit, the school committee would have access.
October is National Principal Month, and before adjournment, the board thanked all of Norwood's dedicated school leaders. The school committee meets next on October 27th. The Capital Outlay Committee met remotely Thursday night. The group reviewed action items ahead of the upcoming special town meeting. Budget analyst Joe Collins presented a cost analysis on projected capital spending. The capital projects discussed will be voted on during special town meeting on October 18th. Also Thursday, the Finance Commission met and began their meeting with an update from the Capital Outlay Committee. Following the update, the Commission then received a free cash update and briefly discussed the preparation for special town meeting. To end the meeting, they talked about the recent Forbes sale and the financial policies. The next Finance Commission meeting will be November 4th. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.